Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's Hook and Hunt TV Facebook Live. This is going to be second in our series of rod building, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. As always, it is brought to you by Real Grips, so just by commenting tonight on the video that you see, I'll pick a name and I will send you a free set of Real Grips. Along with tonight, we're also going to be talking about stuff from American Tackle as well as Angler's Workshop. And those are the components and the places I go to build my rods. Now, the last segment that you joined us for, I showed you the handle installation. And so the handle obviously by now is well dried. And today, as you can see, I started just doing some accents on the rod wraps, and we're going to show you a little bit of that tonight. I put the hook keeper on right here. And so once I put that on, now you're going to want to know, the next step is, so how do I put my guides on? What am I going to want to know to make sure the guides are in the right places? Well, I'm using a microwave guide system, as I always do. And just so you know, Moxie is joining us tonight. So, hi Moxie. Good, stay right there. Good puppy. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how guide placement and everything. So when you get the guides out of the package, notice that the first three guides, the stripping guide, the transition guide, and the running guide, all have measurements. Okay, so that's right there. Now, depending on whether you're building a 6, 6.5 foot, 7, or 7.5 foot rod, the rest of the measurements are going to be right here. Now, this is something important, both with Angler's Workshop and with American Tackle. If you ever have any questions, just like American Tackle has in the back right here, if you have any questions about guide layout, please feel free to contact 800-516-1750. Remember something about Angler's Workshop and American Tackle. Both these companies are really good at wanting to help. They have people there that will answer your questions live and help you get through it. None of us are good at everything the first time around. I've been building rods for a little over a year. I'm still not great at it, but I get better at every one, and so will you. So now what I'm going to do is I want to measure out where I'm going to put my guides, okay? So what I did before this all started, is I laid the rod out, and as you can see, I took this this crayon here, and I marked, this is where my first guide is going to be, my second guide is going to be, third guide, and all the way down. This is easily erasable with your finger after you set the guide, so that way it's not going to show up. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how I'm going to start. This is going to be the first guide, or what we call the stripping guide. This is actually the main component in the microwave guide system, okay? This is what I build all my rods with. And my spinning rods, these are the new MW20s, I'm thinking is what these are, yeah. And these are fantastic. I built a couple rods with them last year. You talk about far and easy cast, this is the guide system to use. So, here's the foot of your guide, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is, now that I marked the area, I'm going to want to see where I want the center of this guide. So I'm going to mark it there, okay? Now I'm going to take my thread, and I know that I'm going to start it right around in here, okay? So I'm going to show you, if you come through the magnifying glass here, I'm going to show you is after I put it on, this is how I'm going to make my starting knot, okay? So I'm going to make it there, and then I'm going to wrap it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to hold it tight here, and then I'm going to step on my pedal down here, and if you watch this, you'll see it'll eventually tighten itself up. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade and adjust this around a little bit here and cut that right there. Now that's tight. If you would just back up the camera a little bit here. Okay, thank you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this burnishing tool, I'm going to press this thread together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rolling and getting, now if you see the line is far apart from there, so what I'm going to do, I want to make this tight together. All right, just like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and make sure that it's tight. Now as you can see, it's starting to space out here. Eventually that'll all come together, but I want to get it before I start putting that guide down just right like this. Okay,
Now she's starting to go a little better. Just like that. What I'm going to do is I want to just get that straight. Okay? Just like so. Let it go a little bit more, and I can see a space or two in there, so I'm going to stop right there. Push this back together. Just like so. All right, there. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to take my guide, wherever I put my guide, here we go. I'm going to take my guide, and I do it differently than some people do it. So again, some of you more custom rod builders are going to say, well, we do it differently. That's fine. This is how I learned, and this is how I'm going to do it. So now, I'm going to make sure that my handle is lined up here. I'm going to take the foot of my guide, and I'm going to slide it under there like so. And then I'm going to start wrapping again, just like so. Just like that. Now I'm going to put this back together. Hold on one sec. Moxie has to go back on her pillow. Sit, stay, down. Go. Always fun training a new pup. Okay. So now that. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back here. And just keep going over that. There we go. And if I see if there's like a little loose area in there that I want, I can always take the thread, go back over it. I know some people do it a different way. I understand that. Just like so. Now we're going good. This is what we want. Just like so. Now I'm going to stop for a second, and I'm just going to make sure that that's lined up on there pretty good. Because I like to wrap a tight thread. That makes sure that I can have the placement that I want. Right now, that's in a good lineup for me. I like that. So now we're just going to keep doing that. And I'm just taking my time. I want that thread to lay as flat as I can. And every once in a while, if I think there's going to be a gap, I'll just take my tool right there and push it up a little bit. But now we're on a good track. And now we're just going to wrap this, okay? Just like so. Before I go any farther, I'm going to show you how to get rid of that white mark. So let's go around here, right? All I'm going to do is I can lick my finger right there. And then I'm just going to take it off. Because now I have the guide, obviously, right where I want it. Get that off. There you go. And we can clean some more of that up later. But then we'll just continue to wrap. Okay? There we go. Now if it starts going back over the other way, I just adjust it. There's no need to go fast. This is a big guide to wrap. That's why I wanted you guys to see this one. This will be about the longest it'll take you probably to wrap, unless you have a two-footed guide. But once you have this in, the rest of them are a lot smaller and go a lot quicker. So, okay, so we're getting there. Now I'm going to make sure that's just a little tight there. Good. And we're going to finish this up here pretty quick. Getting there. All right, little gap right there. Tune that in. And what I'll do is I'll just go around. If I see a gap, I want that close together. It's just a picky thing with me. I want that. That way I know that everything is covered exactly the way I want it. Okay. We're getting really close right there. So now I'm going to show you how to finish off the knot. Okay? So we're going to take this back about right here. Now, I still think one of the secrets to wrapping a good guide is to make sure that the line is tight. And I keep the tension right here on this thread. But now I need to tie this. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to take off a completely different set of thread right here and grab my razor blade. And by the way, if you guys like this information, I would really appreciate it if you would share to other people that may be interested in building rods, and maybe even have them check out the Hook and Hunt TV page. I would really appreciate that. A lot of you have been doing it. But if you like this information, please feel free to share it, and hopefully we can all help somebody else. All right, so here, we're going to finish this knot. So now I'm just going to take a different piece of thread that I have on here. This was a great trick shown to me by Don Morse from American Tackle, and I love this little trick here. So I take a little thread right here. I'm going to put it right through here. Now I'm going to continue to wrap 3 or 4 more times here, just to make sure the knot is secure. 2, 3, 1 more, 4, good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the thread here, take a little tension off the spool. I'm going to take my razor blade again. I'm going to cut that. Now I'm going to bring this around here, hold it, then I'm going to stick the thread through that loop. And sometimes it's a little tricky to do it, but should have it there, I think. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to pull up on that, pull the ends of this, pull it out, and pull back. Bam. Now you got a tighten knot. I'm going to adjust it so I can see it easier. Take my razor blade here, and then I'm going to cut that thread right there. There you go. And that is your first finished guide. Now what I'll do, the rest of this, is I'm just going to go down and I'm going to do the exact same thing on these guides, and I'm going to go through the whole thing. Once they're done, next week when you tune in, I'm going to show you how to mix the epoxy, and we're going to put the epoxy on here, and we're going to show you how to finish off the rod. So now you're going to have a completed rod. All right? So hopefully you got some good information out of this and at least showed you what there is to wrapping and putting guides on. Again, if you have any questions, you can always email me at jim@hookandhunttv.com. And if I don't know, I'm going to call American Tackle or Angler's Workshop, and I'm going to find out the answer for you. But if you want to start building your rods, and I highly suggest you do, just because it's so much fun and you can really, really have more play in the game when you're catching fish on rods that you built. It's really, really cool. So check out Angler's Workshop. You can also check out American Tackle for all the components, and I buy those components from Angler's Workshop. They have all the stuff there. Both places have great videos and how-to information, and hopefully this helped you as well. And like I always said, and like we said earlier, is if you really like this information, please feel free to share it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and next week we'll pick up on the third part of Rod Building 101. Have a great night. God bless you. We'll see you soon.